And I refused to believe I was hurt either. Like, I remember doing this and then coming back to Orlando to go do my MRIs and stuff. And I'm like, I feel good. Like, I can get back in the ring again, even though, like, I just experienced temporary paralysis. I was like, no, I'm good. Like, I could do this. Please don't make me be out. And I was, like, begging them. I was like, please, I don't want to be out anymore. Please don't let me be out. And I was just crying to the doctors and stuff. So then Dr. Maria was just like, I'm sorry, like, you cannot go back in the ring again. It's horrible. It really breaks your heart. It really does.
It's a lot to cope with. It really is.
Yeah.
But here's how I would look at it. Think back to how you felt there in the ring when you lost feeling and everything. And go, okay, it's heartbreaking, but it's better than that alternative. And as much as we try and push things off, and there's still that. Somewhere down in there, your body has a compass, I think, that wants to, give you that little itch, like something ain't right. And you said you kind of knew that, but the mentality and our brain and our heart goes, we're just going to keep plugging through this.
Right.
But for, gosh, it was probably, I don't know, a couple of years before I actually had to retire that, I was taking bumps. And I remember the Hawkins and Ryder were at ringside with me, and they'd come out after the match and my arms would just be kind of dangling at the sides, and they go, your arms back yet? And I was like, they're coming back. Okay, there they are.
Yeah.
And
it's
you
like
try
having
and
to wait for a feeling to come back, though, is kind of the scary part, isn't it? Like,
it's horrible.
Please, like, yeah, horrible. I remember being in the match too, and like experiencing that. I'm like, oh, maybe it's just my arms, right? So I'm like, no, I'm going to keep going. And I remember trying to grab Sasha's legs, and my arms like felt like there was just no bones in them, So I'm like trying to grab her legs, and I'm like, wait, just let me try and stand up. I'll be good to do the comeback, right? And Sasha's like, no, like absolutely not. And I try and stand up, and I just look drunk. Like I just start stumbling and falling back. But actually, I feel like the girls are more terrified than what I was at the time. Like I was petrified, but the girls were crying at the on ringside and stuff, and then they see like the stretcher coming out, and I was like, please. It's like horrible. I don't know how you did it for like so many years beforehand, because it's terrifying.
As stupid as it is, and mine just stayed in my arms. It didn't go to my legs. Not that that's hey, that's better, but it's still stupid. But
it's still hard.
But when I don't, it's the same thing. It's like, oh well, I got a fusion in there. Of course, it's going to do this stuff. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You try and rationalize it. Which.
It's
no
like you
one
have
else.
Stockholm syndrome against your injury. You're kind of like, oh, it's supposed to be like that. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I think high level athletes, whether it's football or whatever it is, I think they have that same kind of mentality, which is probably why they got to where they did. And you try and just okay, I had this done. That's why. But thankfully, I will say, Dr. Maroon. And the whole staff and WWE, it's really good where it's at now, I think, because, Beth has often said to me, she's like, I thank Dr. Maroon every day, when I wake up, because if he didn't catch where it was at, who knows what would have happened,
Right, exactly, yeah. That's the thing, like now, like you obviously, at first I was like, what's your problem? Why wouldn't you let me do this? But like now I completely understand. Like, of course, especially him, he doesn't want his athletes paralyzed too, like if he can stop it, he's going to stop it. My doctor was always like really great and beforehand, but he wasn't in the wrestling world, which is a little bit different. So he was like, you're good to go, beforehand. But Dr. Maroon was always like, no, you shouldn't. But we'll see how it goes. And then he was like, okay, now I'm cutting you off. Now you're out the ring, bitch. Stay out there.
I'm sure those exact words, too.
It's the medical term and everything. Like, he has a way with words. Like
So,
the best word on.
Oh, okay. So I haven't really got a chance to talk to you face to face since you went out and actually did your speech and retired. So, you go out, you do it. Thank you for the shout out, by the way. You didn't need to do that, but it was appreciated. So thank you. And how did you feel that night. When did you find out you were going to become general manager of SmackDown, and how did that feel?
Right, so it's all secrecy though. So they don't want it to spill out. So they didn't even tell me. They were just like, "Hey, you're going to SmackDown tomorrow," And I was like, "Okay, why?" They were like, "Oh no, we can't tell you that." I was like, "Okay." I was like, all right. Like, and at that point, I've been on the road for like a while because it was WrestleMania week. I did like a bunch of appearances. Like, I felt exhausted and mentally exhausted too. So I was like, man, I literally just want to go home. Like, I don't understand what's going on. So then, I got to SmackDown the next day, and all of a sudden, as I walk in, there's like Road Dogg and like writers and like my writer Johnny. They all like surround me, and I'm like, oh my god, am I about to be beat up? Like, I don't know what's going on. I owe you money? Like, but like no, they were just like, hey, like this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna be like this SmackDown general manager. So this is like the next day, and I was like, okay. They're like, don't tell anyone. We don't even have the script yet. We have nothing. Just like And I was like, all right. And then he had to check if my voice was back too. Because, like, I have a thing where I lose my voice every time I'm about to do something big. So, like, when I debuted, I lost my voice. When I re-debuted, I lost my voice. And then WrestleMania, I had to do commentary, and I lost my voice. And Vince was like, oh, my God, fix your voice. He was like, what's wrong with it? I was like, I'm sorry.
Well, I noticed you didn't lose your voice for this podcast, so that shows you the level we're at.
I'll fake it for you. Yeah. No, but whatever. You make me laugh. But I had to check, I did the promo because he had to check if my voice had come back for the promo the next day when my retirement one, and it was kind of there but kind of not. But they were like, we just need to check if you have your voice back today because today is like a really big day for you. Like, we can't have your voice sounding like a dude. So I was like, oh, great. I had to like talk for them and stuff. And at that point, I already drank like a bunch of tea and had like a bunch of cough drops and stuff. And I remember saying it to Edge. I was like, the day before, I was like, I have to get my voice back. Like, they want me to have my voice back. That's really fast. But yeah, like they heard it. I kind of like only spoke a little bit just to like I could fake it until like I went out there kind of thing. So when they spoke to me, I kept it really short. I was like, yep, I'm good. I'm good to go. They're like, great, you sound great. I was like, yeah, good. And so, like, they gave me the promo maybe, like, an hour before, and they were like, okay, go see Shane. And, like, Shane was like, no, we can just do it when we're out there, And I was like, oh, shit. Like, I'm so nervous. Like, But once I got out there, like, the reception was great. So, like, the crowd were, even bigger the night after than for my retirement speech. I was just like, oh, man. You guys still want me around. That's super cool.
Have you had a chance to just kind of go, okay, take a deep breath and like see where everything is kind of laid out and fallen out for you yet?
Oh, absolutely. I had to actually go home back to England for like 8 or 9 days to get my visa fixed. So I literally was not at work, not doing anything. I was just with my family, and it was definitely the best for me. I feel like just it just, like you said, it just gave me a minute to really think about like what just happened and let it sink in. And it was I felt good about it though, surprisingly. Like, Edge, I remember you saying before I went out there, like, by the time you do your promo, you'll get back on stage, you'll stand up the stage, and you just have this weight off your shoulders, kind of, and it's like kind of like closure. And it definitely felt that way. And then having to do the GM the next day was like, I don't know, like kind of winning the lottery for me. It felt really good, and it's like a different role, and I'm like, I love it. I absolutely love it. I get to be the boss. I'm a woman, so we're really good at being the boss.
Well, and it's nice too with the role that thankfully they now have the women's division and power authorities besides Stephanie, and that's cool. I think that's a good thing. The day that you found out you were going to be going out there, I was happy I was there. We talked about it. It was kind of like serendipity. Mm-hmm. It's like if there's going to be anybody who was there to be able to just give you, I don't know, just a little like.
You gave me the nudge and the courage to go out there.
The 100%. Nudge. There we go. Thank you for helping me out there, because I had nothing.
You're welcome.
The nudge that you just gave me, the nudge to just go, hey, it'll be okay, And not from someone who hasn't had to experience it, because you can hear all of those things from people who aren't going to have to go through the same thing as you or actually go out and walk in those shoes. And sure, yeah, it's great that they can, try and say that thing to you, but unless they've actually done it, they don't know how difficult it is. So
Exactly.
I was happy I was there that day to be able to just, talk to you. And
Me too, and it's so accurate too, because like I didn't really tell many people that was going to happen, but like obviously I saw you and I was like, oh my gosh, like I have to do this speech, like this is perfect, like can I talk to you at some point today before I have to get taken out there, And like once people saw me afterwards, it was really hard afterwards actually. Like I was on the stage and I was like, okay, like this is it, closure. But then I came back to the curtain and everyone was just like, oh my gosh. And they were all like, girls were crying. And I'm like, you're making this so much worse. What's going on? Like, I was not even, I was like, all right, I'm good. I've got this. And then Stephanie grabbed me and hugged me for the longest time, which is really lovely. And Vince and Hannah. But then as soon as I walked out of Gorilla and down the stairs, there was just girls just like, like Bailey, I love him. I was like, please shut up. Don't cry. It was very sweet though, but like, yeah.